Here we go. It's another Drip Friday. And this has changed everything. Welcome back to the channel where we build financial power. My name is Matt, and the other beautiful person on the other side of this screen,
Potter.
This is Potter. Welcome to the channel where we build the financial power. Today, we're diving into the one project that we talk about that we endorse only for ourselves. We are not here giving you advice. This is just sort of our journey, documentation of our learning journey. Potter's a seasoned vet. I've got a few scrapes on these elbows because I'm a little bit more seasoned. And
I've got more scrapes.
You have more scrapes. You have more scrapes. But in this wonderful world of DeFi, we dive into it, but more specifically, financial power. That's what we're all about. A lot has changed here recently. This one thing has changed. If you are familiar with the platform that is Drip, it is a deflationary daily 1% ROI platform. I was talking to somebody not on the internet, not involved with this project, this community, and it was kind of cool to see a complete stranger's point of view. And he was like, "Hey, what's up with that one project that you were telling me about?" And I was like, "Oh, you mean Drip?" He's like, "Yeah, I think that's the one you were talking about." And I was like, it's taken its bumps just like everybody else, but it's been going for over a year now. There's about a little over 120,000 users, and it's still paying out, still working. It's still going. And he said, "That's really impressive that it's still alive after what's just happened." And then those were not my words. Those are his words. When he said that, I was like, complete stranger. He's not involved. He's not in it. He's not in the Telegram. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He's not talking referral. It was just, he's a complete stranger. He's like, that's impressive. Just objectively, that's impressive that survived in this rough of a market.
We need to start plugging that more.
Which part?
I love that. I never thought of that. That is such a great point. Like, did survive that because we're living through it, maybe.
Yeah. I think you're so close to the flame. You're so close to the highs and the lows that you're so a part of the process that it's difficult to remove yourself. Because he took me by surprise when he said that. He was like, "That's really impressive that it survived." And I was like, "You're 100% right." And I've even heard that from some of the people in this community, but because I think they're a stranger, they're not involved, there's no bias. He's 100% right. He's 100% right. There are companies that have fallen during this recession.
Yeah, in 2000, big companies that employed people.
Yeah, you think about 2008 and 2009, like the housing crisis, and how it folded banks. It folded a lot of things.
The commercials of seeing people, not commercials, everybody walking out with their boxes in New York
City. Precisely. Yeah. But that's what we want to sort of touch on today. I mean, what has changed? I've talked enough. Potter, you talk. How you feeling? How you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. You didn't talk that long. I'm going good because things turned around. On the previous show, we talked about, that's our Thursday show. Last week, I don't call myself a drip maxi, but I live a drip maxi life because drip is what pays the bills, right? And so last week when it went down to $4, it also took me, it wasn't $4 only, it was like 4 something. It took me to my knee as well. That was too low, right? Because I want to be a part of the system. And I know that I have to take from it, but I want to contribute to it as well sometimes. And I was just going to be taking out massive amounts just to live. And so I knew I was going to have to think about getting a job. And so to capitulate, to admit, even to share to people, hey, I might be getting a part-time job soon, because Drip would still allow me not to have to work full-time. But it was hard. And to see people wake up to the reality that Drip it's a good product that is working for people. It has an ROI capability with the DApp ecosystem. It has an ROI if you want a miner, if you want an avarice-like component, I'm not talking to people who are in the know. If an avarice component, you can get that from piggy bank. If you want a staking component, you can do that in drip, or you can do it in the pig pen. And these are all things that aren't even live. So when Forex had his AMA, a lot of people roll their eyes, but this time we could hear what he's been doing, and he's made a deal with the biggest name in integrity when it comes to data, not the company.
Who's that?
And their program, who is called Chainlink.
Okay, understood.
And so Chainlink has done something with Forex that they're going to call it white label.
Yeah.
Right. And so white label means they can license it. And so for us, we know Forex wants to get back to a system. So anything that Forex licenses, the funds will some way come back to us.
Some way. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And so, and when people go, well, where'd you get that technology? Oh, from Founder Drip. What's Drip?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There are 100,000 people right now. And so now here's the difference. That AMA happened, but there's 100,000 people now. Drip can go away real quick. If everybody buys one drip, it's lights out. It's over. Right. The price just goes parabolic.
Right.
But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but that's still why it can go up so quick, because now so many more people are involved.
Yeah.
And if you think about some of the people who just got in at the fours, they're like I was.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like in a year from now, they might be retired if they do things right.
Yep. So it's interesting. I did catch a little bit of the AMA, just a little bit.
Oh wow, I didn't think you'd listen.
Just a little bit. So sort of to explain, if this is new, if you're new to the show and whatnot, I am optimistically skeptical always, and I think it's a healthy thing. You may hear that and think it's a negative thing. It's not. But I sort of stepped away from the social media, from consuming every single video that came out about drip and this and that and all the hype and every single thumbnail that said it's going parabolic and all that. It was just desensitizing ultimately. So I just needed to step away from it. But, I objectively still want to have a pulse on the community itself, because I point blank, drip is the one that I do believe in, and that I guess I have this blind trust in a trustless system. And, with everything that's happened with Forex and all that, like, I still 100% believe that just because someone has locked up this or did something wrong or whatever, that can't be, and I'm talking for myself, you cannot chastise someone for the rest of their career based on a move that they made during their progression as a developer, a coder, a manager, a business owner, a human. And, that's where my heart goes to with empathy. And, people make mistakes. So, like, if you have any of that, obviously it's specific to you, but I can only speak to myself that, I'm not going to hold on to that. Screw him. No, he's out to get everyone. I honestly don't believe he's out to get anyone. And so to see some of this community change, to see some of the shift, to see some green, to see some of that, it point blank, it feels good to see. I'm happy for him. And I am glad that we have seen less announcements of announcements. I think it's great. I think that's great. And, yeah, it's just good to see. I'm ready for things to turn on, just like everybody else, but I'm ready for the rubber to meet the road, just like everyone else. But I can feel the community, the tide changing a little bit. I can feel a little bit of this positivity.
I agree.
Like, it can't always be raining, guys, and it can't always be sunny. So we've endured the rain for quite some time. The sun's gonna shine, baby. It's gonna shine. So yeah, that's my sentiment. That's how I've been feeling.
And you put your actions where your mouth is.
Yeah.
After I shared last week, you put it in at what turns out to be one of the lows for.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine you this week. If you didn't do that, You're like, I know I should have listened. Why didn't I listen? And that is a new version of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But I think you know, like you just put your own logic to go, what? This is already free money. Like,
And
and I'm only going to test.
Right. And
I'm not
let's
saying, God.
Let's share that with them, because last Friday, every Friday we talk about the platform Drip, or ecosystem around Drip. And last Friday I was talking about, just how my own risk tolerance, my own values, my core, what I believe and think and all that, like on that show at that moment, at that time, like that's where I was at. And I thought more about it afterwards, and Potter and I were talking. She had hit me up previously that week, and I was like, no, currently where I'm at, that's not what I'm about. But honestly, the thought process around what I just said, actually, the thought process around the project itself, Forex, the moves he's made, like the whole reason I haven't even touched on Piggy Bank, Animal Farm, the whole nine, is just because of like the uncertainty, I don't trust, I don't know. And but at the end of the day, like I believe in the technology of crypto first and foremost. This DeFi world I'm diving into, I'm just touching my toes, and
there was more.
Say again.
There was more.
There was more.
Yeah. You also said, it's Potter.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
She has data.
Well,
I need to rethink what I was thinking about, because I wasn't thinking about it from that angle. I was thinking about it from the angle of, hey, you said you were going to do things and you didn't do things.
Right.
Why should I trust you again? I shouldn't. But if Potter's done the research and says it's working, maybe I'll think about it. Right. That's all you need.
Yep. Well, and on that, on that show last Friday, I talked about how, my role as a trainer is to teach and educate and show, have empathy for where that client or person is. And, it's not my job to force them. It's to meet them where they are, give them that information, see what works for them. But at the end of the day, I can't do the work for them. They have to want to do that work. And there is a certain level of understanding they have to have about the process to understand the science, to know it works. But I can't force them to do anything. And not that you've ever tried to do that, but ultimately there is a bit of a leap of faith. There's a bit of a leap of, all right, I understand it, but until you do it, you can't fully understand it type concept. So that's where my head was, when we were done with that show of, I was thinking about how you can't nail someone to the cross forever and always have that mentality. If you believe in crypto, if you believe in the project, if you believe in it, then you have to continue to risk. That's just what it is. In my head, I understand
if you're going to do this.
If you're going to do this, yeah. If you're going to have success in anything, there is going to be risk. And the place of growth is uncomfortability. Like, as corny as that sounds, as overused as that is, the area of where we are uncomfortable is the places where we grow. You can stay comfortable in where you're at and all that, but good luck with finding any growth. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. In alignment with your workout, Matt Lane from Matt Lane Fitness.
That's correct.
I'll get my royalty check for that. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, if you're not uncomfortable, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
Right? You have to force yourself to be uncomfortable. Now, we're not saying force yourself to be uncomfortable in crypto.
Right.
We just run that. Not financial advice.
Not saying throw it on a credit card. Not saying go.
But what Matt did was Matt upped his game by saying, I'm going to reevaluate my risk profile.
Correct.
That's all he did. He didn't say, oh, I'm going to listen to Potter because Potter did analytics. I'm going to listen to, I'm not going to persecute a guy because everybody deserves a second chance. You put a soup together of ideas and you came up with your own modified risk profile. If I talk to Matt's risk profile from December, won't touch it. Won't even consider it.
Sure.
We'll say absolutely no.
Yeah.
I'm me. I want to go at this my own pace.
Yeah.
No. That's what you would have said. So I was just proud of you for considering not taking the advice. But I knew not to the level that it did.
Right.
But I knew that when you saw it, you were going to go, okay, you're right. Drip 2.0. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
And
precisely.
the other good news from his AMA was he just reminded us about how early we are.
Yeah,
And
I was thinking about that today.
he reminded us that what we had a few videos back about it being a strip mall,
Yeah.
you know, with all the stores closed.
Yep.
He hasn't turned this on. And then the parts that people are craving for the most, he's not even turning those on until later. But you don't need those to make the system start working.
Yep. Yep.
So he's just doing it so smart,
Yep.
you know. And like you said, the community's coming together. Good. What were you saying?
No. You're good. No, you're 100% right. Like it. This feels a little different now. You know, who knows? Could change. Who knows? But as of right now, it feels a little different. And I do want to give a little shout out to it's Crypto Kings. And like I don't know how much if you listening or you Potter, like I don't know how much any of you really follow him. I honestly don't follow him super closely. I catch some of his videos, but just point blank, he has been truly grinding on YouTube. And I just objectively, he puts out a lot of content around drip. I'm not saying subjectively it's great or it's terrible or whatever. He's just been really hustling, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see. And you know, he was rewarded for that by getting to interview Forex, having that AMA.
Oh, that was him. Oh, okay.
He's
Now I
been,
feel the same way about Driptopian.
yep. I mean, this
Right,
dude's
and
been putting out a video a day. Like he's been cranking.
and Driptopian has extended the olive branch to Jonathan. I think that guy's name is the guy who's the controversial drip guy.
Right. Yeah.
So that shows you, you know, things are starting to coalesce. Why? Because winning locker rooms are always different than losing locker rooms. Right? Always. Winning causes happy.
Sure.
And forgiveness.
Of course. Right? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because that's the only reason forgiveness is happening. When we were going down, oh, you want to call me out, bro? Yeah.
Yeah.
It feeds. Like,
feeds.
Don't get me wrong. Did I turn away from the YouTube channel? I did not. I kept watching. But at the same time, after it was over, you were fatigued.
For sure. For sure.
Like, why are they doing that to each other? But we're all getting along and things are going up. And the most important part of it all is it's not a Ponzi. Right? It's not using Ponzi-nomics to do that.
Yep.
Does an investment system need investors? Well, yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah.
Right? But it's working on the fundamentals of providing. I only hear you when I say this word now, Matt. Utility. Right? It has to provide some level of that. And you've also seen in other dApps, drip is like Apple, meaning it picked up and everything else all of a sudden had a life. And something that never happens with drip. The drip price went up and the BNB price went up.
Yeah.
During both of the spikes in drip price, when it went up last year to 51 and then dropped back down. And then when it went up to 100 and something, BNB, it was fighting against BNB both times.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Right? We were like, oh my God, what would the price be if BNB was actually not going down? BNB, because at the time Binance is going away. Right?
Okay, that makes sense.
No, actually they're buying Fortune magazine. You know?
Interesting.
So that is a weird dynamic that we have, that one's not going that way and the other one's going that way. And I like it, you know, because now if we can get our ecosystem going with the markets, more predictability, more comfortable. The more comfortable even retail investors are, the more comfortable, not industrial, institutional people are as well. And I think what he's creating is just huge, and he's building games on top of it. The only thing in crypto that is still like nailing it, that really wasn't impacted, are games.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, what a turnaround in a week. And we weren't negative through all of it. And I love that you talk about how you know, drip lived through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? So do we.
Precise. Yep. 100%. Yep. Agreed. We talked about this on a recent show about how, you can't remove emotions. We've said it a billion times, but don't get too high when things are great and don't get too low when things are terrible. Trying to keep yourself here in this middle while things are, holy crap, this is great, this is awesome. And then, oh my God, this guy is falling. Trying to keep yourself here in the middle, holding on to those core values is just so critical. But point blank, I think you could even say objectively, it just feels good to see some turnaround, to see some green, to see some good.
Yeah, it does.
It just
it really does.
Value. Call it selfishness. Call it
validation.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it just feels good to see. Feels good to see. That's point blank. That's it.
No, you're right. Like even that description, it's different for everybody, right? For me, it felt like validation.
Okay.
Right? Because I had more on the line.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it wouldn't feel like, what was the word you used?
Just feels good, checks a box. It almost superficial.
Selfish. Like you said, maybe selfish. Like, so no, maybe you would feel, but I wouldn't, because I couldn't feel selfish when I'm trying to provide for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, for me, it was validation, because we started this channel.
Yeah.
You came, I'm like going, no, dude, I'm pretty sure I was right.
Yeah.
Look at my numbers, like all the data.
That makes sense.
But, and one last thing, when you're watching all of these people with the data and they're using old data, it's all broken. They're not able to use old models anymore, because the supply chain should have fixed itself by now, according to all data. So now we are in a free flow.
What do you mean?
Nobody can truly predict what's going to happen.
What do you mean the supply chain is fixed? What do you mean?
So when you have people who are like, don't screw with anything, don't change lending rates, this is just inflation.
You talking about traditional money. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it'll run out, right?
Okay.
People will run, the supply chain will come back together. People will have more than they want, right? And then the price will come down. It's normal economics. Well, the supply is still right there, and people are wanting it more than they ever have before.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So now
supply comes back. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So, sorry.
Well, that's what's changed. I think the sentiment, the atmosphere, the aura around drip has changed, and it's a good thing to say. It's a good thing to say. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. It's all good. It's all good. Stick to your core values. You got anything in closing, Potter?
Yeah, I really liked your analogy about don't get too high or get too low, because in my head I saw a gravitational field in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. But the gravitational forces, when it's going high and when it's going low, will pull you one way or the other. It's a fight to stay in that middle.
Correct. Fully agree.
So, great analogy, kind sir.
Typically, we go live Thursday, Friday, 10 Eastern. This was a pre-recorded show. If you were just confused the whole time of why we weren't responding to you in the comments, we're doing some pre-recorded shows, going to be releasing them, but we appreciate you being here. And builders, keep building.
Cheers.